Welcome back to Crafty Crafts, my darling. Today we're gonna make a green and gold wreath for St. Patrick's Day. It's gonna be a very simple wreath, really not too much material, not too much time. So the first thing we're going to need is obviously the wreath itself, and I got this one from the dollar store. I'm gonna take the tag off. You will be needing a pair of scissors as well as a ruler. You are going to need some chenille stems or pipes, whatever you want to call them, and then some mesh. And the particular mesh that I'm going to use today I actually got from Hobby Lobby, because even though Hobby Lobby is a little more expensive on there, or it seems a little more expensive, when we go to the dollar store you spend about the same amount, because you would need 2 or 3 rolls, and because there's not as much in there. So it adds up to the same amount, so it's really not much of a difference price-wise. Plus the Dollar Tree doesn't always have them, and they don't always have the right colors. So I've got this one that is kind of like a goldish color, and I've got this kind of limeish green. I also got a darker green going on here. And the pipe cleaners, or chenille stems, whatever you want to call them, I found some in the dollar store, some at Hobby Lobby. This mix pack, this we use for a different project if you guys saw the Wreath, but it has many colors in it, and we're going to use the darker greens for the darker ones. This Easter looking one I also found at the Dollar Tree, and we're gonna be using the lighter greens for the lighter green one. And then this one I actually bought at Hobby Lobby because this will match the gold, and it cost me like $1.99, something like that. So let's grab all our materials, take the tag off, and get started. Alright, my darling, so I forgot to mention, but you would want a trash bag too. Or a trash can. I've got this bag from the dollar store. I'm gonna put my trash in. You do whatever you need to keep the trash out of the way and not flying around. But the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take one of our rolls and we're going to start cutting them. Now we're gonna be cutting these rolls 24 inches or 60 centimeters. So it will be 2 of these. Alright, my darling, so 2 ruler lengths then. We're gonna do that. I'm gonna put the scissors right there to mark the half. And I am going to go back. And it's okay, it's perfectly fine if it's not perfectly on the 24 inches or 60 centimeters, whatever it is you're marking. So now that I've got this one, I am actually going to use this as a demo. I'm not going to use, or as a guide, I'm not going to use the ruler for the rest of them, because I feel that it's a lot easier for me with this piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put something here and put something on the other side to just hold it down, and I'm just going to keep cutting the pieces through it. And we want 16 pieces like this. Ideally we want 12 to 16. 16 is a better number to go with when you're doing this, because they're gonna go in 2s, and we want 8 is a good number. So 8 times 2 equals 16. That's why we're gonna need 16. So 16 of this color and 16 of the greens, and then we'll get moving along. So I just wanted to point out, if it makes more sense to you to pair them up when you cut them, just pair them up right away in the 2s, so you make sure you have 8 pairs, go for it. For me it's just easier to count 16 altogether, but if the other way works better, just go for whatever you need to do. So this was the gold roll, and it lasted me for exactly 8 pairs of that. It lasted me for exactly 8 pairs of that. So one roll is really all I needed for this particular project because I'm only gonna use 8 of them. So the equivalent to the dollar store, it's actually worth to buy a Hobby Lobby if you can, or get a chance to, because instead of going for 3 or 4 rolls, you're spending for one roll, and there's less quantity of stuff that you have to deal with too. But there's that. So there's that gold one. Ooh, sorry about that. I don't know what just happened. So there's the gold one, and we're gonna start with the slime green one. I'm just going to grab a box and put all the gold ones in it so they won't go rolling around and getting tangled. So just to make sure we're all on the same page, I am starting with the slime green one right now. I put all the gold ones except the one that I'm gonna be measuring out with in a bucket or a box, whatever you want. And I'm gonna start with the green one, just measuring it from the ruler to the water bottle back here and getting them cut up so we can move on. And it's perfectly okay if your edges are not straight like that. If you have a little one that is a little pointier than the others, it's perfectly okay. That's not gonna matter much when it comes down to putting them together. So let's finish cutting this green one, and then we'll keep going. So real quick, I just wanted to show you, I've got these 2 back kits. One of them has the lime green, one of them has the gold. 16 pieces each to make 8 pairs. Now I want to talk to you for a second about this darker one. So as you can see, this darker one is bigger than the other 2 were. Here's the roll from one of them. It's about twice the size. The store did not have a smaller one, so I did buy a bigger one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut 8 pieces of this one and cut them in the middle to make the 16. So only 8 of this one, but the same length. So if you do find the bigger ones, just know you can cut them in the middle to make it the right length. And just so we're all clear, we're gonna measure here real quick what the length should be about. So the length itself is about 5 or 6 inches. It's about 5 inches. The length of this is about 5 inches. So I'm gonna make 5 and 5. So if you can't find the smaller ones and you have the bigger ones, just make sure you cut it in 5 inches when you cut in the middle. So I'm gonna do that, and we'll be right back. So what I'm doing right now is I've got the 8 pieces of the screen, the darker green out. So I'm measuring 5 inches, and I'm just gonna cut it straight through. Excuse me. I apologize. And I'm using that water bottle to hold it down so it doesn't roll back at me. But then when I've got the 2 pieces down, I am going to put them in the side here with the rest of them until we get through all 8 of them to make 16 pieces to go with the rest. And then we'll start putting the pieces together for our roof. So now that we got all the pieces together, we're gonna start putting the pieces, or I guess now that we got all the pieces cut out, we'll start putting them together. So I'm gonna grab some darker green Chanel stems. If you want to use a different color, go for it, but it will show, that's why I use the green. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a piece of it and I'm just going to mesh it together. And then I will take the Chanel stem and put it in the middle. Give it a twist or two. And then make sure that they go with the two sides and not against them. This would be against them, this will be with them. And take another piece from the same color and do the same thing to it. But now instead of taking another Chanel stem, what we're going to do is take this one and put it the other way and have a twist or two. And try to do it in the middle. That way when you flip it over, you can fluff it out a little bit. And it should look something like that. So I'm going to do it with all of them, with all of the colors. I'm going to use the darker green Chanel stem for these dark ones and other colors for the other colors. And if there's strings like this that are flying around, just cut them apart, cut them off, and toss them away. Alright, let's get busy. Alright, my darlings, so now that you got all these fine pieces lying around, it's time to put them together. So go ahead and put your Chanel stems as well as your scissors away or aside for right now. We'll grab the actual wreath and we'll get started and putting these things together. So as I mentioned before, this wreath came from the dollar store. You can find them smaller, bigger. We're just using the regular sized one. We're gonna start putting them together. So let me grab one. And we're gonna put them around this 2 middle pieces. Because there's 4, we're gonna do around the 2 middle ones. So just grab one and put around. And I guess I should show you what I'm doing from the back, huh? That would help. So what I'm doing is twisting it to the back, and the reason why I like doing wreaths this way is because there's no mess, there's no glue, and then later when it's time to take them apart, you can take it apart and reuse all or most of the materials. So let me show you what I'm doing in the back. We'll put this green one on, turn it around. And really what I'm doing is I'm just twisting it. And you should have about 3 of them on each section. So right now I have 2, this goldish one and the green one. You should have another one right here. So there's, each section like this should have about 3 of them. So let's get going on that. I'm going to alternate my colors. So I'm gonna have the slider green go next from both sides actually, because there'll be lighter green in here too, and then we'll continue going like that. So we'll get going on that and we'll see you guys in a bit. Alright my darlings, so there it is. Don't forget to fluff it out a little bit when you're done putting them all on. And you might want to put, well I ended up putting maybe 4 on some of them. 4 batches like this on some of them instead of 3. Don't forget to fluff it out, make it look like you want it to look. I think it looks great. I think we did really good with our golden green wreath for St. Patrick's. I'm really liking this darker green. I'm thinking maybe the golden green and red for next Christmas, but we'll see. We still have a lot of time to look for that. But now that you're finished with this, congratulations. You have one final step, and that is to find a place to put this. Alright everybody, there it is. We're gonna put it there on the wall. That way if it rains, it's under the shade over here, so it won't get as wet. But there it is. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, try this out or do this yourself. Please take a picture and put it in the comments. Let me see what it looks like for you. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the notification button to get notified when we got new videos coming out. Have a wonderful and blessed day.